Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 851 of Geeks in Space. I'm Rob Commander Taco Malda, and I am joined once again in pretend low Earth orbit by the one and only Chris DeBona.
Hello.
And also the equally one and only Rob Roseboom.
Hello.
See, I introduced you as equals instead of like trying to do a thing.
Thank you.
Which is probably good because this is still my first cup of coffee. I didn't get up until like 5 minutes before Chris said he was ready to stream.
So what's funny is you have your sonorous reverb on again.
Oh, do I?
I think it only happens when we're actually broadcasting.
I actually think it's that my room is echoing. Echo. Weird. Okay. Well, let's see what we got on the list, guys. Twitter. They're having fun again.
You mean X?
The website formerly known as Xitter.
Okay. That thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw this. This is not going to go over well.
Well, it's a complicated.
It's not going to work out for them. That's not what it's for.
No, did you actually read into it? So it's worse than you might think. So the story is that a group of advertisers represented by some foundation, the Global Alliance for Responsible Media, they all basically said you shouldn't advertise on the fascist, MAGA-leaning right-wing hellhole that is Xitter. And then some folks did that, and now old Elon, he decided to sue. Now, what's interesting about this is that they shopped the judge, and they got that judge in Texas that owns Tesla stock. So everything's fair. Don't worry.
I don't know. It's a long road up. I mean, so private companies usually don't get to prompt an antitrust collusion hearing just because they say that a lot of people got together and decided to collude. So here's the thing. GARM is likely an 801c6, a 501c6, which is a business consortium, which are designed specifically to allow businesses to communicate with each other without the danger of being called colluders, basically. So specifically, so they're not in a racketing organization, right? Or criminal conspiracy, they have this oversight mechanism, which is what GARM is, right? So them going in and saying, well, GARM is, just a group of people who want to stop advertising on the Twitter. It's like, well, yeah, if you don't conform to their policies, that's the goal. It's like NATO,
That's their role.
Yeah, it's,
So the issue is not necessarily going to court. The issue is that this is an organization with relatively no budget, and they've already spent like $1 million on discovery. So this is the sort of situation where the mere existence of this lawsuit could bankrupt the organization entirely, which is a bad precedent.
I mean, Texas might have an anti-SLAPP law.
You think? Texas?
Let me see. Yeah, it's called the Texas Citizens Participation Act.
Wow, I thought Texas hated their citizens.
Well, sure. But sometimes their citizens hate being sued.
Oh, all right. I wonder which rich citizen decided that. No, wait. I wonder which rich citizen decided that was cool.
You're joking, but you're not joking.
Texas is weird, man.
Texas is weird.
We've had many friends over the years cycle through that place, and it is like a bit shifted. And California too. They and New York and Washington D.C.
I mean, I hate to say it, all of the very powerful and very large states,
they all have like weird exceptions to the rules.
Yeah,
because
their deregulation did great for their power grid in Texas.
It did if you were the power company. And what are we to say about that, Rob? We have like two of the least effective power companies in the world. I think Ukraine has more stable power grid than us. Holy crap, Chris. Look at all those ads on that page.
I know. It's intolerable. I
Uh,
just wanted to find out the girl's name. Khaleesi.
Khaleesi, yeah. So I did just want to mention, since I just saw that ad thing, there's a thing in the new iOS beta where basically you can click on an element on a page and hide it, and it's built into the
Nice.
operating system now, or into
Cool.
Safari.
Well, do you
And
see Chrome shut down uBlock Origin?
yeah, so like I only use Chrome for the podcast and for the Google like suite, like Google Chrome and or Google
Yeah.
the Drive and Docs and all that. That's all I use Chrome for. I use Firefox or uh, Safari now because Google. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but Google's evil.
Is that the search company?
Yeah, you might have heard of them. They were pretty. They were pretty nice for a
You know,
while.
since our last meeting, I think they were found to be a monopolist officially.
They in fact I have been found to be,
and they were going to propose measures,
which I've been saying for a decade. But I feel like, Chris, you've only been saying that for like a year and a half.
no. So I still think that breaking up a company is a big step. You know, even Google, but even knowing what I know about the internal architecture, if you look at AT&T, when they broke up AT&T, it was even more integrated across Western Electric, Bell Labs, and all the rest. You can break it up.
Oh, sure.
You know, there's precedent for breaking shit up.
I got no problem with breaking shit up.
Yeah.
But like I have a lot of issues.
I think of, okay, what's the right way to break it up? You know, separate ads from search, make search just another, frankly, Firefox, make Chrome just another Firefox deal for search revenue that's open to anybody, you know.
There's a lot of ways that you can do it, and there's a lot of ways that you could have done it all along, but you don't do that unless the government makes you, because money.
I do wonder what happens to YouTube, right?
They should be a standalone company. They should have nothing to do with the rest of that company.
Yeah, but should they be a standalone company with their own ad business and ad matching technology?
That would be up to them, because they'd be a standalone company and they would get to make that decision on equal terms with every other monopoly video provider.
So YouTube is currently, I think, a very profitable business. But when we first bought them at Google, the thing that they needed from YouTube, and I think I talked about this in the cast before, was they really needed the traffic to go the other direction. Because for a long time for Google, all the traffic was coming in for the crawls and the indexers and all the rest. And then the traffic that was going out was just maybe Gmail or proto Gmail back then and search. And that's not a lot of bits compared to the bits they were consuming. So we bought YouTube, and it instantly balanced the equation. And so we were no longer at the beck and call of the large context people. We could peer, right? And so if you had said,
that sounds like a problem.
Now,
that sounds like a problem that I don't care about. That sounds like a problem.
Yeah, that was 15 years ago,
for sure.
You know,
for sure. Yeah, no.
I mean, they should break cloud out. They should break, search out.
So here's my rule of thumb.
Make them compete.
Here's my rule of thumb that I think is pretty reasonable, but of course is not. If your company is so large that you want to have your most well-known products have their own names, because it would possibly be risky to you to have all of your companies be known by the same name, then you should be broken up into multiple companies. So if you are so large that you must have Alphabet, and if you are so large that you must be Meta, and you are so large that you must be Disney, you should be broken up, because each of those businesses is pretending to be 100 different businesses.
I'm going to disagree with you. I mean, the times you should be allowed to break companies up in the United States is when not doing so causes continued painful consumer harm, and you actually are a monopoly, right? So for instance, like what happens to Android without Google's oversight? It becomes a subset of Samsung rapidly, right?
Then you don't let them operate as one unit. This is the problem with capitalism, because capitalism wants to become.
It's not going to get corrected by the South Korean government. I mean, come on.
No way, they'll be fine. They'll figure this is the thing. It's uncharted.
They are the South Korean government.
No, and all of these companies, at least to Apple's credit, for all of Apple's flaws, for the most part, they brand everything under Apple.
Yeah, but that's not a reason to not force them to open up messages.
For sure. And I'm not saying that my rule
their monopolistic practice.
I'm not saying that my rule is 100%
I think your
fair.
logic's terrible, I guess is what I'm saying.
That's fair.
I need a version of the Chiron for this.
Oh, Rob is a terrible thinker.
Yeah, Taco doesn't really understand antitrust, you know.
Oh, for sure. Taco does not understand antitrust. Taco only understands when corporations are doing things that are immoral.
And that's okay and reasonable. You know, you could say, hey, it sucks that they do this thing. You know, I mean, what's the internet about except for, you know, middle-aged dudes or older dudes like me, you know, bitching about that, right?
You're not wrong. On more fun.
Wait, what is this nonsense?
Well, hold on. Let's just the kid that got her passport denied.
Khaleesi. Yeah.
She tried how much would that suck if your parents named you Khaleesi, and then like years later you're like, well, you can't have a passport because HBO owns your name.
Because Hobo owns your name. Yeah, I mean,
so why did they deny the passport?
Trademark.
Seriously?
They're screwed then, because the year that came out, that was like, I remember it was number 6 most popular.
It was huge.
Newborn girl name.
Yeah, like Arya, Daenerys.
There's
it'll get overturned.
Thousands of Khaleesi's out there by this point. Tens of thousands.
It's like so many of these things, though. It'll get overturned. They're just going to make a bunch of people miserable in the process because they're not humans. They're monsters. They're corporate monsters.
Think of all the Bilbos.
So many Bilbos.
You know,
the greatest hobbit of them all, and there's so many of them.
Listen, I'm not endorsing. Let me be clear. I'm not endorsing naming your children after characters who may turn out to be mass murderers. You know,
I agree, and your son Dahmer really has a problem with that too.
What's funny is just yesterday we had a conversation about how many kids we thought were named Pinocchio in the United States. We looked it up, and it was something like 6,000 people are named Pinocchio.
That seems too high.
Yeah, it's nuts.
That seems way too high. Well, I guess there are a lot of very powerful drugs in this world that might make you think that's a good idea.
No, man. What I picture is it's like one of these Disney adults. I'm gonna name my kid Pinocchio, and then for the next 30 years, they're like, until they change their name, or 18 years, and they go, Pinocchio, I can tell you're lying. And it's like the kids who must kill themselves to get out from under these parents.
That poor kid.
You know,
not to mention the kids who are called the Beast.
Yeah.
After the X-Men character, or are there many Wolverines? That's my question.
Bet you there's a lot of Logans.
I bet you there's a ton of Wolverines because of the sport team, right? Kansas it's Jayhawks.
Michigan, U of M.
Michigan.
U of M.
That's our local university.
That's right, because Red Dawn. I remember now.
Wolverine.
Yeah. Wolverines. You know.
No,
I mean, there's got to be a ton of. I mean, I know someone named Wolf.
Yeah, so we all know a Wolf.
We all know someone named Wolf.
I know people named all kinds of wacky stuff. You know, so yeah.
Sure, you lived in California.
I mean,
I don't live in California anymore.
I've never met a Pinocchio though.
Yeah,
I've never met a Pinocchio or a Goofy,
and that's why those are difficult.
Rumpelstiltskin, no Rumpelstiltskin my entire life.
Remy Lebo,
any name old enough to be famous for being in the public domain is not cool. You shouldn't name your kid.
Oh, come on,
Pinocchio.
Man. You can't say that. I mean, think like the most popular names are the ones that have been in the public domain for so long.
No, I'm talking about like media characters. Khaleesi is not yet in the public domain.
How many media characters have been named Rob? And we have 2 on the fucking podcast.
Look over there. There's the point that I made. Look, you're just not paying attention to it. That's okay.
Good Lord. Well, wait, what are your middle names? Do you want to talk? You probably don't want to talk about that.
No, then you can't Google that. No, my point is famous names, like to take from popular and current culture.
Okay.
Don't take Pinocchio. Don't take
Luke. I wonder how many Han Solos there are.
I bet there's a lot of Hans.
You can't name your kid Ultraman.
It's so unfair.
That's not cool.
Astro. I know a ton of Astros. You know.
No,
And that's a dog. That's an anime character. That's
That's everything.
Oh, speaking of which, I was trying to find out. What was it? So you guys are like super anime kids, right?
I mean, I was for a while.
All right, let me find my search history.
We don't share that screen.
Out. What's that?
Don't share that screen.
Oh no, I know better. Search your because I have a group that plays Fortnite together, and we were talking about cat games. Not important, and one of the skins you can wear in Fortnite is basically a cat girl with like the ears and stuff. But she has cat ears and human ears.
Yeah.
And we're postulating, does she have 2 ear canals going to a common inner ear, or do they go to separate inner ears?
Or does she have quadraphonic hearing that's like super advantageous in hunting scenarios?
But these would be focused forward, these would be focused omnidirectional. I mean, so our question was, do they have 2 or not? Right. And so I looked at a bunch of anime cats to see if I can see how many of them have 4 ears.
And that's the story you're sticking to when the judge subpoenas your search history, is you were researching the eustachian tubes of anime cats. That's why, Your Honor.
Well, yeah, but my question was, have they ever made an anime of this thing? It was like cat adjacent. I'll figure it out. I'll remember it.
All right.
So
fair enough.
And I did find one thing. It's very modern though. It's not like a new. There's only like one. I only found one instance of it. So, but I figured you guys would know because you're anime oriented individuals.
Well, Magnum said too, he outgrew his anime phase. I think I kind of outgrew that like when I had kids. I just stopped having
super into it.
I was into it like a lot, but I didn't have once I had kids, I just didn't have time. Something had to go, and it was anime.
Yeah, I never had an anime phase.
You just lived with one.
Yeah, you sure did.
So we've got the cybercrime rapper.
It's gonna bug me.
Story. But I posted that 8 days ago. But it's actually a pretty funny story. If you read through it. This kid like raps about how he does all the cyber crimes, but then like he has a website that's selling you like strategies and stuff, and it's all plausible deniability. And then eventually they found out that he had registered domain names with the same phone number, so the kid got busted. It's actually pretty funny. It's worth a read if you want to smile. He made a rap called Wire Fraud Tutorial.
Do you remember during the whole crypto crackdown, they found that very white girl in the Caymans who was doing her rap, and it was just terrible.
Yeah, I remember her.
I had a save search for her for a while. Rapper girl crypto. She had a great name. Yeah, here it is.
We talked about
guilty
that.
Of 4.5 billion in crypto laundering.
4.5 billion.
Well, worth of crypto. Oh, Razzle Khan.
Razzle Khan.
Oh,
Razzle Khan.
Yeah. Oh, Razzle.
Sadly, I don't know if that's her jail name, but yeah.
No, she moved to Australia. She calls herself Raygun now.
All right.
Raygun has been all the rage in my home. It is approximately 30% of all things I talk to my wife about now. That's the person
who did the performance breakdancing.
The kangaroo.
She did the curly shuffle and the sprinkler. Everything during her rap her breakdance routine.
She got a whole
she didn't do
canceled.
Any actual breakdancing though.
I mean,
I didn't watch it, so you're not spoiling anything for me.
Doesn't breakdancing come from within?
What you consider. She didn't do a lot of like traditional moves.
Mm-hmm.
She just did a bunch of stuff, and then who knows what the truth is, but there's all sorts of stories about how she got in.
Yeah.
And I mean, clearly she got 0 points. So it is really funny to watch.
The legend is definitely beyond.
My favorite move is at one point she's laying on her side and she's like holding her body up like she's touching her toes, kind of like she's a human stapler.
Okay.
So
then she transitions into the curly shuffle and you're like, oh my God.
There's a video going around that I shared with Kat the other day, but it's the back windshield wiper of a car, but
Mhm.
it's her like doing the
Oh,
move,
really?
like her leg just
That's
flipping over. It's
grand.
great.
Nice.
It's great. I'd show
Good
it
for
to you,
that
but
person.
that's on my
Whoever did
Mac.
that, you know, they got a printer with a sticker paper at home.
Yeah, yeah.
This one?
Yeah, that's the gal. That's Ray Gunn. Rachel Gunn.
I don't know. I mean,
International
I kinda
hero.
think she's in strange ways a hero, right?
Well, the thing about her
not
is
all heroes wear tracksuits. That's all I'm gonna say.
there's odds on betting now about what reality game show, TV show competition like she's gonna get picked up on. It's like 50-1 that she gets to be on some show in Australia, and there's odds now like that are betting on where she shows up. It's pretty good for her.
So during the last Winter Olympics, there was a person from some country, and it was like a 55-year-old lady in the snowboarding competition, and she just goes straight down.
Good for her.
And it's like, I kind of love these not protests. They're like, you just have to qualify.
You did
and
it.
if nobody else in your country qualifies,
That's right.
You're going.
That's right.
And it's like, I kind of like, they're kind of the hackers of the modern age,
They hacked the system. She got a free trip to Paris. She got a free trip to Paris.
And I've never got with all the Olympians, she probably found some,
I've never got a free trip to Paris.
Well, I mean, it's Paris, so it's back.
No,
but
next time you have to figure out how to get on the Australian breakdancing team.
Well, no, they canceled the sport.
You could do it.
They canceled breakdancing.
How did she qualify? I'd imagine there's more.
So you have read up on it.
Yeah,
Australia's not like a nothing country,
No, there's a lot of controversy about the qualifications. You can go down a rabbit hole, Chris, and I will tell you right now, this is a rabbit hole worth spending a little time wallowing in. It's fun.
There's already t-shirt shops.
Oh yeah,
this is
she's a legend.
Good for her.
She's a legend.
I admire Miss Gunn.
I think she's a Mrs. Gunn because part of the controversy is that her husband judged the qualifying competition.
Like, honey, I better get in, or you're not good enough.
Uh-huh. So, no. Otherwise, no doing the kangaroo and the sprinkler for you. All right, you should check out the Pong that runs in Mouse's firmware. There's, I think, an animated GIF or a video clip that shows it. And this is the dumbest thing you've ever seen. It's kind of amazing. This again falls in the unending list of things that just make Rob happy that they exist.
Okay, what am I looking for? Pong that runs on mouse.
Pong that runs on mouse firmware. There's a video clip or an animated GIF. I don't remember what it is.
I found it here.
That shows it going live. And this is just the dumbest and most clever thing that I've seen in a while. I'm a big fan.
Here we go.
There it is. Ta-da! It's running entirely in the mouse's firmware. It just blinks the mouse to 3 different locations on the screen so you can run it without any operating system.
I mean, as long as you don't have that seizure thing, the photic seizure disorder, but yeah.
I'm already having it.
That's fantastic.
Isn't that great? Good for whoever did that.
Yeah.
What's the name? Scroll up. Let's say the name so that the person feels appreciated.
Was this presented at Dupont 2?
All right, thank you, Dupont. Guy Dupont
of Cambridge, Math.
Good job, Guy Dupont. That's awesome.
Yeah, maybe it's French, maybe it's Guy. Because Olympics, Paris.
That could be. That's the sort of story that we would have posted all day on Slashdot. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So we can catch up on the Starliner. But the main thing that they're with that now, the word is possibly up there for 8 months.
Yeah.
Can you imagine going up for what you think is going to be 8 days and it turns out to be 8 months? Because I got to tell you, man, there aren't a lot of people who want to go to the space station more than me. But I got to tell you, after
that's a long time.
After
that's
like
hard
a week
on the body.
Yeah.
It's really hard on your body.
Like that's like organ damage.
Well, it's not. I mean, you can keep up and all the rest. I mean, so I guess Ed Lu went for 6 months at a time. Shell Lundgren went for I think a maximum of 9 months. I don't know.
Do they have all the equipment there they need for that?
Oh yeah, I mean they always have extra food and stuff, and the cargo.
Well, no, I'm talking about
treadmills,
exercise equipment.
Oh yeah,
keep yourself okay.
Yeah,
because they weren't planning to be up there that long.
Nope.
This is actually the problem because there's the question of why don't you just stick them in a spacesuit, go inside the ship, undock it, and push it off with your feet or something, right? problem is there's only 2 working EVA suits, and
Just
they
take 'em.
don't think it'll fit into the hatch, you know? And so how do you get out if you, because the problem is you have to go into the Starliner to get it to go.
Yep. Yeah,
Right? There's no
they
autonomous system.
There's
right?
no remote eject.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. So good job, Boeing. This has cost them, they're saying like $1.6 billion now over budget on this project. Like, oh my God, it's amazing.
It's also irresponsible to strand astronauts. I don't know if you feel this way, but.
And I mean, it's not like Boeing has a lot of good press lately, right? They could have used a win.
Yep.
This is terrible.
Yeah, shameful. I feel bad.
Yeah. I think right now there's 9 people on the ISS, which is a lot, you know, and there's 3 on the Shenzhou 18 Tiangong. So
I mean, if they're running their treadmill, you know, around the clock, everybody can have 2 hours. That's fine.
Yeah. I mean, that's how they do it too. You know, well, I think they have more than one treadmill too, just for the record.
They have different exercise machines, if I recall correctly. And isn't the toilet still named after Colbert?
Maybe. I don't know.
I seem to remember that was a shtick they did.
So Butch and Sunita are the Starliner folks who were stranded. So
those poor people. Like I said, man, going up for a week.
I'm sure they're like, it's cool that we're in space, but this is not optimal.
Yeah, but it would be nice to go home now.
And like their families were like, I thought you were going to be home for dinner. Yeah.
I thought you were going to be home for 7th grade.
They'll be an inch or 2 taller, so there'll be that.
Yep. Yeah. So will their kids. Oh, that makes me sad. I hope everybody's safe. And of course, since Boeing is too big to fail, there will be no consequences for anybody of merit in that organization.
Someone might have to quit and get a big check.
Sure.
Go run another
big severance.
Begging retirees to come back for the Air Force One project, for the rework of the manufacturing floor. For
maybe they shouldn't have harassed all the people who complained about their crimes.
Yep. Maybe not.
Weird. And the other one that they're worried about is that they might brick the hatch. That I really liked. Like, even if they do eject it, they might brick the hatch so then nobody else can dock there again.
And there's 3 docks on the space station?
I thought there were there's like maybe 2 on the American side and 2 on
American and 1
Russian side. I don't remember. There's a few docks, but you can't lose one. All right, SpaceX is gonna they've announced a manned mission to fly a polar orbit, which oddly enough nobody has ever done. So you guys, I was thinking maybe for next week we all like adjust our orbits and do like a polar orbit for 1 week, just so we can take that little award away from Elon.
I'm not sure I want to be lined up over the hole inside the hollow Earth.
Oh
yeah, I mean, because that's where Pong is. We told him we wouldn't block his sun.
Right.
That's where the Death Star laser shoots out in case we go to war with Pluto.
No, it's America's navel, so that's where the umbilicus went in from the mega planet.
Oh, it's Planet X.
Sure, let's go with that.
Omicron.
That's whatever one is on the opposite side of the sun, so we can't see it.
Planet X.
Planet X. Yeah, I think that's called Planet X.
Well,
there's actually a real name, a name for it as well.
Yeah. Well, I think Planet X might be the one that we haven't discovered that's far enough out that mucks with orbits. But then I think there's another planet that's a name. But maybe they use the term
Planet 10.
We don't have called like Nebu or something like that.
They always have stupid names,
right?
Yeah. Like, someone who's deeply religious is like, we'll call it Nebu after what happened in 14 Corinthians.
I won't be able to test it because the battery on my keyboard died.
What?
The battery on my keyboard is dead, and I don't have a spare cable, so I have to. I used to have
only wireless peripherals, and these are both capable of being wireless, but I always keep them plugged in. The latency's better.
I'm with you. I
got so tired because like my mouse would glitch out, after 30 days of no charging.
I usually keep my.
Too many dongles. Too many dongles.
So many dongles.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this whole place is basically one big wire patch. So yeah, I'm petrified of it, honestly.
All right. All right. Well, okay. You guys have probably seen this one. This is the Waymo cars honking at each other in the parking lot.
Way more honking than they thought.
Yeah. I don't know if that article has the video, but the video clip is going around. It's pretty great. There's just
find the live stream.
The cars are parking, setting off each other's alarms, and they just do it all night because they park to recharge or whatever, and they set up each other's alarms, and the neighbors are like, "What the actual?"
Yeah.
I love how technology just creates new problems for itself to solve. It's pretty great.
Cars honking. Here we go.
While you're finding that, the next one on the list is Subpixel font rendering, which is another one that just kind of rang up near and dear to my heart. There we go. Here's the cars.
Went up around 4 a.m.
Then it happened again.
Why does not
Burp, 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 burp.
white?
I could not
Incidents have happened randomly.
really.
These
All right,
first
mute
I'm
it.
talking.
Mute it. Ah.
I will tell you, when I go to San Francisco, I love riding in the Waymos.
Yeah,
They're
totally.
so much better than normal Uber and the rest. They're clean. They don't smell like pot or whatever freaking fragrance they've been using.
Axe body spray.
And like my friends who are women people, they're like, it's so great to be in a car where the driver isn't coming on to you and like trying to walk you to your door and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. Uh-huh. That's right.
I'm a big fan of those things in theory, but also
cool, dude.
we live in Michigan.
There's no tipping. There's no tipping. You just pay. You just pay.
We live in
There's
Michigan,
no,
though.
Hey, give me 5 stars. Give me tips. None of that.
But no gum.
No gum.
They're not going to like offer you a gum or a snack.
I don't want their food.
Well, me either, but it's part of the awkward social dynamic.
I don't. Well, the thing is, in Uber, you can mark if you want conversation or not. It'd be great if they paid attention to that.
Yeah. I never want to talk to anybody ever.
I live in a place though where none of these are an option.
This will never happen here.
Yeah, I know.
Ride, you have to hitchhike or wait for the hay ride to come by and then jump on.
Yeah, we have one Uber driver. Her name's Karen. That's her real name.
Lucky woman.
Yeah, and we all know her. My wife will honk at her sometimes because she goes too fast through stop signs.
Oh,
like don't honk at Karen. She's the only Uber driver I know.
If she gives you 3 stars, you're never getting out on an Uber again. Okay, so the Subpixel font thing is actually really cool, and I was just thinking about that a lot because I just remember back in the day when Subpixel anti-aliasing for fonts was a thing, but now there's a whole font built on Subpixel structure. So I guess that's
you only use CRTs.
Yeah, no. That'll work on LCD, but not on an OLEDs because the W OLEDs and the Q OLEDs
side by side.
They have like different font layouts. Yeah. So anyway, I loved that.
That's actually kind of great.
I thought that was super clever. So if you squint real careful, you can
no,
read
I can
the
see
numbers.
That
Yeah. It's neat. And since we've already been angry like about 2 stories, now we get to be angry about the most horrible thing of all.
What's that?
This is the Disney Plus subscriber story. So
no.
a woman went to a restaurant, ate a restaurant, told the chef that they had allergies, went into anaphylaxis shock because they were poisoned, died, and now Disney is saying, nope, we don't have to pay you out because as a subscriber to Disney Plus, you clicked the terms and service.
Yeah.
So
holy shit.
So
it has an arbitration clause.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you have to arbitrate the death of your wife.
Oh my God.
So Chris, tell me again why big companies shouldn't be broken up.
So what's funny about this is if they stick to their guns, I don't know that they're going to get approved for arbitration. They should be very careful because there was another company that was trying to push everything through arbitration. So they had 40,000 arbitration cases. And they're like, no, those should be in class actions. And they're like, no,
you chose.
Sorry. You chose, you filled this bath up. You're going to swim in it, buddy.
The worst part about this story, are it's so many sad things, but I think they were only asking for 50 grand.
Death?
It was like 80 grand, I think. Yeah.
But it was a number that seemed like it seemed more than fair. Like Disney should have just, if the number that I saw was the real number, then Disney should have just been, we are sorry, have this and more, because it was
I think the problem was it was too small. If they had sued for like 3 million, then, or 2 million or something, which would have been reasonable in my opinion. So
yeah, I mean,
the lifetime value of a doctor at NYU Langone. I mean, come on, you don't ask for 80 grand. You ask for, enough to cover the lack of income and salary.
No, this is horrible.
I have to tell you, the only thing Disney respects is force.
Oh,
so
for
they
sure.
shouldn't have come after like, oh, you guys should really make good on this. No.
That's right. Once your company is so large that you create multiple brand names to obfuscate the ownership of your company, you should be broken up. This is garbage, and I hope that Disney pays through the nose for this.
Well, me too, but this is less Disney needs to be broken up and they're just a shitty company.
For sure.
Maybe you can make the argument that they're shitty because they're so big they can be shitty. I guess that's an argument, but this is more about shitty legal shit,
Yeah, but also they're a restaurant, and what does this eating at a restaurant have to do with a streaming service? They're too big.
Exactly. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. So this is great. I'm really sad about this one, and this one made me angry, like really angry.
That is crazy.
Yeah,
it's nuts, And the thing is, there's a lot of people are like, oh, all these snowflakes with their not real allergies. It's like, this shit's real.
Yeah.
Like when you go overseas, they're like, you have any allergies? Because they don't want to kill you.
Right.
In America, they're like, oh, another one of those snowflakes who thinks they're allergic to gluten, but they just don't want to get fat. And it's like, no, there's a lot of people who, if they have like the slightest amount, they will go into shock.
We have a good friend who's awfully miserable when he accidentally gets gluten in him.
Yeah.
They should be teaching the taco antitrust rule, Magnum.
I understand they do teach it at the University of West Samoa Law School. So.
Yeah, all right. The taco at Taco U.
Taco U.
Yeah. We teach a lot of
No, Taco U. All right.
Taco U. You shared the trailer right before we started for Omni Loop, which I didn't know existed, and I'm looking forward to because what has it got? It's got Mary Louise Parker and the gal from Bottoms and the Bear, who I like a lot.
Yeah. So it's a time loop movie.
It's a time loop movie.
That's all you need to know.
And it's in theaters, so even better.
In theaters now.
No, theaters September 20.
Oh.
But I want it now.
So see what she has between her vertebrae? It's a black hole.
She's got a black hole behind her heart between her third and fifth vertebrae.
It's like cancer, but like black holey. Yeah. So okay.
But it's going to be a time loop, and I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Media that anybody's enjoying?
I saw Deadpool 3.
It's super fun.
Oh, I also saw. I drove down I flew down and then I drove back a bunch of family archives to save them from the Crozier fire in California, and I saw all kinds of wacky stuff on the road. Lots of Trump Pence signs that are like getting
boarded over
now.
Yeah.
And then there's
a lot of them in my neighborhood too. There's a
bunch of trucks with like decorations slagging on Joe Biden, and I'm like, oh, well, you paid for that rap, did you? And then, but I was driving between Sacramento and Chico, and a couple, meaning a woman and a man, were just casually crossing I-5,
like on foot.
On foot.
Cool, that's safe.
I'm like, that doesn't seem safe.
That's not safe.
So I switched lanes so I wouldn't hit her, which I thought was very common.
Generous of you.
That is safe.
You're not Disney. You can't just murder people. You're not Disney.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna murder someone in the United States, it's gonna be in a car, right? But I saw a lot of stuff on my drive. It was something.
That's awesome.
People are terrible drivers too.
That's true. Hey, I watched Twisters.
Oh my gosh. Oh, how was it? Was it entertaining?
It's exactly what you expect.
I heard it's entertaining.
It's popcorn fluff and totally watchable. And it's got Glenn Powell in it. who I think
We've been told he's the next big thing.
he's kind of dreamy.
He's charming.
Yeah, no, I like that. I liked it a lot. Oh, here's another one. You guys might know this. Actually, I think, Rob, we mentioned this the other night, so you don't. But Chris, are you familiar with a 1988 TV show called Probe?
Probe.
It's co-created, no shit, by Isaac Asimov.
Oh, okay.
And it's sort of like a Doctor Who / Sherlock and Holmes sci-fi thing that ran for 8 episodes. And it turns out that it has imprinted on my wife from her childhood very powerfully. So we've been rewatching episodes of this, and it's actually incredibly funny.
It was the first live action Doctor Who spinoff.
No,
Written by Mark Gatiss.
that's not
He's
the show.
awesome.
That's not the show.
Oh.
This is from 1988. It was an ABC hour-long show. It has never been released on like a real media format, but all the episodes are available to stream on YouTube.
Wow.
And
Okay. You should link to them.
I will put it into the channel.
I admit the idea of a Mark Gatiss written Doctor Who spinoff is a little more charming to me. So
That's fair. The reason I say it's a Doctor Who spinoff is because the behavior and the relationship between the two leads is very much like the Doctor and the companion. He's frenetic, he knows everything, but barely reveals any information. She's just helpful and perky. It's all that cliche. But it's
got Parker Stevenson in
yeah,
it.
it's got Parker Stevenson in it. And I'm not going to tell you that this is a good show, but it is so 80s. Yeah, thank you. Yes, I have terrible taste. It's very 80s, but it's just that my wife saw this when she was a kid. And so like you don't get to choose. Sometimes you like Thundar the Barbarian, and that's just what sticks.
Or the Batman with the nipples,
Yeah, we had a friend confess to liking Silverhawks.
I don't know what that is.
It was not a good show. It was even worse than Thundercats.
Oh, yeah, that looks terrible.
Yep, it's not good. Yeah.
I can almost hear the anime ching.
I watched that show every day after school at my babysitter's while I was
It's no
waiting
Star
for-
Blazers.
Well, but Star Blazers actually is not bad for those kinds of
I
shows.
watched the hell out of Star Blazers.
The problem with Star Blazers, frankly, is that it's stretched too thin. Like it's a 20 episode season with like maybe 7 episodes of material. It's stretched as thin as a Dragon Ball Z. I think that's the only new media I've consumed. I rewatched last night Joyride, which if you haven't seen, that's very fun.
That's a very fun movie.
That was Lady's Choice, and a worthy choice, a fun one. Yeah, Magnum Point. Silverhawks was a Thundercats ripoff, very much so. And it was filled with hoes. Let's see. Anything else that we want to get off our chests? All right. That's a whole bunch of silence. Goodbye, Rob Roseboom.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Chris DeBona.
See ya.
That was episode 851 of Geeks in Space. I was Rob Commander Taco Malda. We'll see you next time from Polar Orbits. Bye-bye.